Welcome to My Pods Podcast. I'm Dr. Joe Schneider, and after 35 years as a functional neurologist, a personal journey through stroke recovery, and helping thousands of patients, I'm here to share breakthrough solutions for POTS and neurological wellness. From getting out of bed in the morning to rebuilding your nervous system, this is your guide to understanding and overcoming neurological challenges. Let's begin this journey to recovery together. So we do mold testing too, and we find that's another big one because mycotoxins are the toxins that mold gives off. You can get it externally from a mold environment where there's a lot of mold, or you can get the mold in your system, the particles in your system, that can cause your body to kind of like really, really go wrong. And if that happens, if you have a mold infection and it's in your body for a long time, well, then you have neurodegeneration or inflammation, right? So a lot of patients that come in that are like in their 50s, now maybe a little earlier now, maybe in their 40s, where they've had mold infections in their system for a long, long time, they get dementia, right? And first stage Alzheimer's, or even advanced Alzheimer's by that time. So mold's another test that we do very frequently, or in every case that we have. We just had a case where the gentleman had a stroke, and his lead, we did heavy metal tests, his lead's really, really high, right?
Yeah.
And so they don't understand where they got it. His wife tested it too. She's normal. But even the detoxing of the lead is giving him a lot of brain fog. He just doesn't feel right neurologically. But as we get the lead out, and then we know that those systems start to function better, and then they'll be rehabilitated better. Heavy metal. The last thing would be cortisol that we test, right?
Mm-hmm.
So cortisol has to be tested throughout the day into the evening. So you start early in the morning, you start in your normal morning wake up, it goes up like this, and then it starts coming down till noon, and then the rest of the day it should be pretty low until you go to bed. And so we get a lot of curves that don't look like that. It may be real low, then it goes up at the midpoint of the day, and then comes down, or it may be really, really low. But cortisol is a circadian rhythm, right? And so we get a lot of patients, especially with POTS, they'll say that I have a hard time in the morning. I wake up and I have a hard time getting up. I change position and my heart rate's off. My blood pressure goes down, and I mean, everything's not regulating right. But in late afternoon and before I go to bed, I'm feeling really good. And I don't want to go to bed because I know I'm going to wake up in the morning and go through the same thing. So when we look at cortisol, we'll also look at DHEA and hormone levels and things like that. So we want to see what kind of circadian rhythm that they have, and that's good. So what would be a metabolic rhythm that we look at, that we want to look at too? Well, it's blood sugar. So it's so if a person has issues with metabolism, processing sugar goes too high, right? And insulin goes too high. I mean, a lot of patients with POTS says, man, I gain weight like really fast, right? They gain really fast, and that would be a metabolic rhythm that they don't have control of. So it would be smaller meals, less sugar, right? Less carbohydrates in their meal, less starches and things like that to get that under control. So that rhythm is another rhythm that happens when we eat. So when you look at the 2 hour postprandial, then we want to make sure the insulin and the sugars don't go up too high before they start to normalize again, right? So people will get that mid-afternoon, like real big slump, right after lunch. So they know that their insulin's going high, and then their sugars go up, and then they go way down, right? So they become hypoglycemic. So there are trends that can happen too.
What about losing weight? Because there's been a handful of patients where they've come in and they've also been losing weight. Can't seem to put anything on.
Yeah, well, we're looking at a lot of people with eating disorders are coming in with POTS and dysautonomia. I mean, that's the other extreme, right? And so we were talking about it the other day. We were saying, is it physiological or is it mental? Now, what do you think the old version of it would be?
Mental,
Mental. But what's the new version?
physiological.
Physiological. So
There's some sort of disconnect and there's something missing up there that's causing it.
that's causing it, right? So, you can look at that. So a lot of patients are coming in and they're like saying, I throw up, I vomit, I have nausea all the time, I don't want to eat. I got gastroparesis. And, if we go through the first part of your digestive tract and how complicated of a neurological control system there is, where from the time you swallow till it goes in the stomach and then all of a sudden goes in your small intestine within a few hours, right? There's so many mechanisms that have to happen. Okay. That's why they say that you shouldn't have a big meal before you go to bed. We need to look at that too. So, what are the neurological mechanisms of the that will give people nausea, and that will give people will make people vomit and end up losing weight because they can't consume enough food? Is it mental or is it physiological? And it could be both, but it could be mental, could be all physiological on the other side of it. And I think it's the best thing to do is to really get that tested to see where they're at, okay, with the way they're eating and the way their body's controlling the digestive tract. And so they always talk about gut brain, brain gut, right? That's true. And there's two mechanisms to that. There could be leaky gut, where your food's leaking out of your digestive tract because of inflammation of the lining. Or you could have dysbiotic gut, right? Where you just have gram-negative bacteria that's causing LPAs, lipopolysaccharides, right? LPSs, which are inflammatory to the system. Yeah, so much stuff, right? Bad bacteria, bad fungus, parasites, things like that can get into your system.
And that build up and back up.
Yeah. Well, I listened to a lecture one time where they talked about a chronic yeast infection in the large intestine causing like ulcerative colitis and Crohn's over time, the increase of inflammation in the large intestine. So health can be complicated, POTS can be complicated, and so can dysautonomia. We're in the trenches with people that have lost their life, and most of the people are living and living in really, really living hell because they can't get out of bed. Some of the younger patients we have, same thing. They can't get out of bed. They can't get themselves moving. They can't work. They can't finish school. So the Hope Brain Body Recovery Center is taking upon ourselves to kind of learn everything we can about it and have all the tools that are necessary to get people better.
Yep. Because it's so wide ranged, it has to be patient specific.
It has to be.
It has to be. It's
Yeah.
got to be tailored to every one of their last individual needs.
Exactly.
It's the only way.
So it's definitely not cookie cutter. It's not color by number. So anything, or the last thing, so is anything come to mind as far as a patient that you feel like really proud that did really well in the program? And
Just one.
yeah, just one.
I mean, I'm proud of everybody that I've gotten a chance to work with. It's privilege and it's such a selfless, fulfilling feeling to be able to work with all of the patients that we have come in, no matter what their case is. I love working hands-on with all of our POTS patients because it's just so personable to be able to work and learn more about each person because it goes back to that individuality and that patient-specific needs. And one patient needs this compared to another. How can I curate this to you so that it's going to work best as possible? You and I discuss it, and we come up with amazing strategies every day, how we can further everybody. I don't have one specific patient. I've love working with them all.
I think you're right. Like everybody, do you like kids more? Do you like the adults more? Do you like it? It's just everybody has their own personality, and they kind of stick with you all the time. And I think the hardest part is that we spend this time with them, we get to know them really well, and then they're gone.
Yeah.
It's just like, and then they're out of sight, out of mind, and then you get a referral from them, and then like that all comes back, and knowing what the process was. Some of the processes are very, very hard, very, very difficult. But with the victory at the end, it makes everything worthwhile.
Absolutely. Well said.
Well, thank you,
Yeah,
Joey.
thank
It's
you,
great.
Ben.
It's great doing this with you today. And if you know anybody that has POTS or dysautonomia, or they have all different types of symptoms you can't figure out, then have them give us a call, 610-544-9800. We're Hope Brain and Body Recovery Center at the center in Chadsford, Pennsylvania. It's our only center, and people usually can fly into Philadelphia and get here very quickly. There's local hotels for you to do intensive work, or if you're local enough, then you can come in and do work slowly as we go through. All right, have a great day. Enjoy. Thank you for joining us on My POTS podcast. If you're looking for more support, visit us at hopebraincenter.com or follow our journey on TikTok, where we share daily insights and inspiration. Remember, healing is possible. I'm living proof. I'm Dr. Joseph Schneider, and I'll see you next time as we continue exploring paths to recovery.